Hello, Sister Kate here. It's been what, a week since I've done a video, even a live stream? Well, trust me, it's been a very busy time. Um, I'm sure some of you who watch my husband's videos and Bear's videos and other brethren's videos know we just celebrated Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread, and there were many subplots going on there, places to go, things to do, meeting up with people, and then we had a Hebrew wedding, and like monsoon like weather. It's part of our area. It makes everything grow here, and as you can see from my last video, all of a sudden I'm back in the woods, the forest, the jungle. We've had plants come up and grow. Let me show you this Swiss chard that survived from last year. I am showing it right. I'm assuming I'm showing it. It survived all the frosts and the floods and everything, and now it's happy because it's getting warmer. Give me 1 second. Huzzah! Always, right? Always in the video. Animals, they gotta make noises. Roosters have to crow. Guineas have to make noise. The dog is howling even though I'm standing right here. Like, Anyway. Greenhouse, where am I pointing? No, there, greenhouse. I've kind of figured out how to leave it open so it doesn't get too hot, but also the plastic doesn't get torn down, and I've got an even better way that I'm going to do soon, including string here and there at the back. There is stuff growing in there, as you know, bedding plants and so on, and because I've been so busy, a sister has offered to start warm weather plants for me, because I still haven't started any in there, because I'm busy. And you hear Pastor and I say that all the time. And then, in our own defense, we've had a dear friend and guest staying with us for a couple of weeks. And he told Pastor today, the people online have no idea how busy you guys actually are. Hello, there's a witness, right? We are. We're super busy. Our own lives keep us busy, as well as tribe, as well as internet, as well as life. So if you're feeling neglected, if you're feeling like, why aren't my online contacts, putting videos out and whatever, it's because real life is also happening behind the camera. Now, some steps forward, I wanted to give you guys a little bit of the progress. Some steps forward for us here on Shofar. The baby goats are doing okay. We actually got a powder and powdered our goats because they had some kind of goat lice on them. We think it's the biting kind, not the blood-sucking kind. And so we treated them, got that taken care of. My dog had an infection in his ear, got that taken care of. And a really big hallelujah for this spring. And one that I'm really excited about, because I don't know how many of my videos last year in the summertime I mentioned a weed that I was fighting on our property. And our property is pretty big. And this weed was invasive. It is inedible by farm animals. It's supposedly human edible, but the people who identified it for us couldn't even tell us if it was really the correct plant or not, or some version of it. See, she has to come in and get involved too. It's just terrible what hams these guys are. That I wouldn't even, I was not even willing to try to eat it, because we couldn't even get a consensus out of the people who, have eaten it in the past and knew what it looked like and everything. It's called Korean sesame, and it's also known as Perella or Perelli, and it's a noxious weed in many states. There's college professors who study it and how to get rid of it. And my daughter called one of those professors. I think he might have been in Texas. And he's like, oh, yes, I know all about it. It's a terrible plant. And you need this certain chemical to spray your property with to kill it all. Well, you guys also know about me that I like frogs. I like toads. I like natural mosquito and fly eaters. And so here on Shofar Mountain, we've instigated several vernal pools to try to up our amount of our reptiles, of our frogs and our toads, and we're very lizard friendly and newt friendly, and we don't use much kind of chemicals here on the land. I say not much because every once in a while an animal will require some permethrin or some um, antibiotic or something to help maintain their health and well-being. And yes, I have used diatomaceous soil for different issues, including animal issues and so on. And sometimes it works and sometimes it does zero. Like my experience with it for worming goats, no effect. Permethrin, great effect. So we use a little bit of chemicals here, but not very much. And it's on, like I said, it's a big space, so it's diluted a lot. Anyway, the good news about that is the Perella is basically gone in all the areas that I fought it. And I call it fought it because it was a daily battle. Every day when I went on my walks, and I do go for a walk every day, and so does Pastor, I kept my eyes out for it because it's in edge areas. It's not like deep in the woods. It's not out in the middle of the open areas. It's on the edge. Every time I passed it, I got rid of it in some way or another. A lot of the time, this early in the spring, when the plants are really, really small and just coming up, I just kick the plants. I would just scrape them with my foot enough to disrupt their growth cycle. And because I won't say it's an annual, or a perennial. It's an annual that throws seeds down. So if you don't catch it, it's going to keep throwing seeds down and it's going to keep going. But the individual plant does not like live through the winter. It just throws seeds down. By disrupting the cycle of the plant early on, before the seed bearing phase, you can stop the cycle. And so all through the year, all those videos I mentioned, I'm attacking it, I'm fighting it. I went all over my property in all the areas I could see it from the roads and the trails, and I either cut the plant down or I disrupted the baby plant or whatever. And it's almost eradicated here. As a matter of fact, I actually even put down big sheets of black plastic on large patches where the seed was carried from the top of the property by the wind and the rain and whatever down to the lower areas, and it settled down there in edge. And so most of it's been eradicated. I think after this summer, if I keep up my program and I hit it where it's still left, I think we're going to have it completely off our land by the end of the year, which is a hallelujah. And it is also a testament to, you can have quick fixes to problems. I could have gone and bought whatever chemical was supposed to kill it and just sprayed it and probably have killed, most of it that way. But I'm taking sort of the long view. And so I thought it was better for the land, my animals, myself, to just do it one time a day or 2 times a day. Just a steady picking away at the problem. And it's working. It's working great. And what it's also done, it's allowed a lot of other grasses to grow up, but also another set of weeds. So this year it'll be a different weed I'm attacking. And it's a never-ending cycle until you get your land the productive, healthy environment the way you want it for whatever you're growing and whatever, animals you're raising. But that was a hallelujah. That and all the perennial plants that we do plant here or bring here or allow to grow here are flourishing. They're doing great. I've got a clover on the ground over here that's doing fine. I've got curly dock right there, which somebody mowed a little bit, but that's okay. Curly dock is very strong. We've got lamb's quarter all over the place. So yeah, there's some lamb's quarter right there. It's really, really small, but it's just one of hundreds of plants that are growing. And all of those are things we intentionally did to help feed us and our creatures, whatever. We've also had an influx of dandelion. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with dandelion because we can eat it, the animals can eat it. More dandelion, the better. And we will have, there's just so much This time of year is just, the trees are leafing out. We have trees we let grow specifically to feed our sheep and goats with. We have trees that hopefully are going to be bearing us fruit. We have grapevines that we pruned. Here, I'm going to walk you over to the one grapevine because I know I talk about them all the time, and I know I've, done videos on making the wine from the grapes and how to take care of the grapes. Here's another, that's a wild rose that's just going crazy. And the wild rose is really good for rose hips. You get vitamin C off that at the end of the season, and the goats like to eat it. So if I want to prune it up and feed it to them, I can. And then right here is one of the older grapevines that I've pruned. And I pruned it pretty heavy last year, and it's 3, 4, 5 years old, but it's starting to come out because the weather is correct. The weather's warm enough and moist enough for it to send its leaves out. And down near the base, I've put some rocks and cleared a lot of the weeds. It's actually growing on a really short hickory tree right here. But this hickory tree has been pruned back and pruned back and pruned back too, because too many leaves bring that mold to the leaves of the grape. The grape needs light and air, so you want it, the ideal is to have it suspended on wire and poles and stuff. So that's what these things are. I bought these this year to train that grape to climb up on this and hopefully go out and keep it, where the air and the light can reach it. So those are the praises for right now. Sorry it's been a while. We still have a lot on our plate. Hopefully we'll talk to you guys soon. I got those new microphones. Hoping to put them into use soon. All right, y'all, I gotta go. Bless you. Shalom.